Hello again. I'm doing more on the E30. I am into it at the moment, so might as well make the most. And plus, they haven't noticed I'm not at work yet, so I'm getting a few phone calls now. It's not long. I have to go back to work, and hopefully it won't be for too long. So I've just put some wheels in here. I think that's as far as it will go out. So I've either got to do some work on the arch, but until I get the rear beam on and the shafts and everything, I don't know where it's going to end up. Obviously nothing's connected, it's just been put in there for give me an idea what it's going to look like. So the wing, the bonnet needs to go over that way, which you can do. It has got adjustment on it, and then that panel gap won't be too bad, which doesn't matter anyway because we can move this backwards and forwards. So the front bit that can go in, but that's parallel, and I think the whole bonnet needs to come over this way a bit. So I've fitted this bit off the front panel. Obviously I've not fixed it to the front bumper yet. I need not the bumper, the front wings. I need to get the door on over there, so I can line it up like this side, and then get the wing where I want it. But I need both wings on at the same time. It's pointless putting this wing on and finding out the bonnet's out of square or not parallel with it. It'll just make everything more difficult to do, or refitting the wing twice. So I'm not sure what's going on. I can't remember if I've had to cut this back because it is touching on the side. So I might find when I put the door on, this all has to come out more. These are fiberglass panels that the company has gone bust that made them. I presume they've been floating about for a long time. I mean, I've had them for a couple of years on the roof of the car, so propped on the ceiling. So the chances of them being straight, not very likely. But it's fiberglass; you can move it and fix it where you want it. So I need to push the car right over, which isn't a problem because it's on the dollies, to get the door on. And then I can't do that now because it's getting late, it's dark outside, I've got the bike outside. This door is literally got a couple of bolts holding it on, so it's not fitted in any way, but you can put it where you want it and get an idea of where it's going to line up. Yeah, it's a start anyway. We're moving forward. I've got to resist the temptation to put lights and things like that. All this has got to come off again because it will be, I've got to spray it. So the engine bay, what I want to do is fit this and then take it off, but have all the fixings marked so I know exactly what fixings go where. So when it goes back, it will go in the same place. And I can spray that off the car then. And that way I can spray the arch, get that done. These wheels are much bigger than the ones that will be going on it. I think they're 17s. They're 5-stud, they're for the compact. So I have got wheels that go on this, and they're smaller. They don't fill the arch, but that wasn't the thing in 1980, whenever it was that these were around. So I'm not fussed about big wheels. It makes the gearing awful. You need to put a really high ratio diff in it if you want to put big wheels on it, unless you want to do 170 miles an hour. Yeah, so just getting there. We're just doing bits and pieces when I can. Right, this is the original bonnet that came off the car, which I won't be using. It has got quite a bit of rust in it, but I do need this. I'm going to give it a clean up and see how it turns out. This is the spring mechanism that goes on the front of the bonnet because the bonnet's open forward on these. And I need to get this fixed onto this bonnet so I can line up the bonnet and get the bonnet in the right place. and then I can sort the wings out. I've just fitted the door a bit better than it was, so tighten the hinges up. We've got a bit better gap there, the lines sort of line up, so then I can work off that to get the wing sorted out. So everything, once, I can't do that wing until I've got the bonnet lined up, and I can't do the bonnet until I've got that wing on, and I can't do that wing until I've got the door on. So it all sort of goes around. So I'm going to get the bonnet on anyway, and it'll be easy to open and close once it's got the hinges on the front. Right, I've given that once over with the wire brush and wire wheel, and it's got the majority of it off. I think we can reuse that. So I need to put some rust preventive on it, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm just going to get the bonnet on. I can always do that later when I paint the bonnet, because it'll have to come off again. That's the bonnet fixed on. And I've just got a couple of screws on the wing to hold it in place. I mean, they're fiberglass wings and a fiberglass bonnet. What I have had to do, if I open the bonnet, this normally has springs in it. So when you pull the bonnet lever, the front of the bonnet pops up. But I've taken those out. They're just the two bits of wire. They run through, hook onto either end, and just give it a bit of torsion to pop it up. But because it's a fiberglass bonnet, you don't really want to have to push it down really hard to get it shut. There's nothing wrong with it, just shutting on it with a bit of gravity. And I'll obviously have the bonnet pins in and lined up. I've got this, there's plenty of screws on this wing holding it on, but I've only got one screw holding this one on, because the whole wing might need to go back a bit yet. I'm looking at, but the only thing stopping it is the gap of the wing where it goes to the bottom of the A-pillar, whereas that one has got more of a gap there. This one, I might need to pull the top of the wing out or lift it up, or so I've got to fiddle about with that now. But what we really need to do is get the door on the other side. Yeah, you can see the front of the wing sticking out a little bit more. Right, a bit more fiddling, I think. Right, we've pulled the wing, I forget which way now, we've gone back, I think. So that's better. A bit more aligned. I think the wing needs to come up a little bit. The bonnet needs to go down. But we can't tell until we get the door on. So I'm going to have to get the car to the other side of the garage, and then I think the door's at the back behind the car. Dig that out and strip it down, get some weight out of it, and then try it on. Well, I've got a bit of space this side now, so I'm having a look at the rear quarter and I'm trying to line it up with the swage lines. So we're not bad there, but the arch just doesn't fit. So the other side, it tucks under the arch. So if I tuck it under the arch, the swage lines aren't quite going to line up, which isn't the end of the world, because we're going to have to fill a bit here anyway. We can make them work. I might try it inside the, hook it in inside the arch, which is how the other side's done. I've got to keep it the same as the other side. I can't have different width, different sides. I'll take these screws out and I'll try that and see how it looks. Right, that's about in the right place now. I'm going to have to just trim a bit off here so I can get this in closer. The arch is the same distance out as the other side. Here, it's actually over the arch. Everything's where it needs to be, really. So the way I did the other side, well, you've probably seen the video, but yeah, I'm going to clamp it rather than drilling rivets, because they do tend to go wavy. And what I had found with the other one is we put the rivets on, filled them, prepared it for spraying, sprayed it, and then afterwards there was like loads of dust around the rivets. I don't know if it was static or whatever, but yeah, this way it'll just be glued on with fixings at the bottom. So the sill works out all right, lengthwise, So I'm happy where it is. So what I'm gonna do is mark round it. I'll fiddle about with this first, cut it, because I can build anything out of the fiberglass, make it work. But it's the swage lines that I was more concerned about. I want them in the right place, and the wheel arch. So I'm going to mark it, then I'll prepare the inner wing, the rear quarter, the original one, and just give it a scuff up so that the adhesive sticks to it. And then I can bonnet on. I might be able to. We're getting 2:45 now, 4:45. So yeah, should be able to get on with that. But first off, I've got to strip this door. I can't believe how heavy it is. And you strip it and it goes so light when you've got nothing in it. So right, I'm going to take everything out so I can fit the door and check everything lines up with the door and the wing before I do any bonding. Right, I put the door on, and yes, it's not bad. It sort of lines up, but that gap's not big enough. Unfortunately, opening the door, it's jamming up against the wing. So when you look at the sill here, we've got like 6mm over the rear quarter, and yeah, we're pretty flush there. So I reckon we can go forward a bit, make that gap bigger. I did adjust the bonnet and brought the bonnets back, so I know I can bring it forward again. So yeah, I'll unscrew the wing, move it forward slightly, and then check the door works, because if anything, the door needs to go a bit further forward as well, because the gap there is very, very tight. Right, give it a go. Right, I've moved the wing forward a bit. Once I've got the bolts in the holding the wing, and where the wing bolts onto, I can take the pencil out, and the door opens now. So I've got to take the door further forward because this gap looks very small. So I might have to move the wing forward again. I don't know how much play I've got, but it's got to miss the door. That looks like a big gap there. Not ideal, but it's got to be that big for it to work. Now I think the wing could do with coming over that way a bit. Well, not according to the line of the door. Maybe the bonnet needs to come over this way a bit more. I can move the whole lot over slightly. You know, it's just fiddling about and adjusting. And I don't know how straight this bonnet is, because this is fiberglass, so it's not really the same as a steel bonnet. And I'm not overly fussy with panel gaps, but obviously if I'm doing it, I want to do it as good as I can, within reason. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But the object was to get everything lined up, so I can start, like, I could bond that on anyway, because that's, as long as the swage lines line up. Yeah. Well, I've cut a bit out where the swage line is, because I'm going to have to fiddle about with that, build that up with fiberglass. But basically it works with the arch. The swage lines line up, the bottom one when I've done it. It's the right length for the sill. I've put a few screws in to locate it. So what the idea is, I'll take it off, clean up the metal, just so I'll give it some grip. Put some tiger seal on it, plenty of it, all around the edges. It's pointless going in there because there's like a void in there. So go all the way around, and I'll put the odd screw in, so I know it's in the right place then, because I know it's in the right place now. Otherwise, if I take it off, I'll have to start again. This will be clamped on with a straight edge, so I'm not going to get any problems with weaving in and out, because I had loads of rivets on the other one, every 50mm or so, and it just, yeah, it wasn't straight. So hopefully this, I mean, it's going to crack, fiberglass onto steel, but hopefully it won't be too bad. And once this is bonded, then I can do the same to the other side and fill it with fiberglass and feather it in on the corner. So yes, what I've got to do, I want to do that. It's 5 o'clock now. I don't really want to get the grinder out, and I might do it quickly and I can get on with this tonight then. I've dry fitted the end on. This is what I'm going to do when the tiger seal's on it. So clamp the top. I've got a couple of screws, plenty of glue, and let it cure, and then fiberglass it to fit it all in and give it a good sand down, blend it in. I got the old tube that I used last time I did it, and that's not actually a nozzle. I pulled the nozzle off and that's the tiger seal. It's just gone rock hard inside. I mean, I expected it to, but I thought I'll just pull the nozzle off and see. So quite handy, because I'll be able to use the nozzle again. Right, so that's been sitting in the sink for 20 minutes with hot water in it. So it's just warmed up a bit, because it can be quite hard coming out the tube. So I'm going to take this apart and then put the sealant on it and then glue it back on again. Well, that's it all bonded on. So I haven't got bonding right up to the edge, because what I'll do is I will slide the fiberglass under. I'll paste the resin under and then slide the fiberglass under there to help bond this to the new fiberglass to the old fiberglass. I mean, I'll have to give this a good clean up before I do anything with it. But if it's anything like the other side, just a little bit of sanding will take it off. Not ready to grit though. Yeah, so I've just got to leave that now. I've been looking at painting the inside with 2-pack, but I've just been watching Dave's Garage and he does it with the brush. And I thought, I'm petrified of painting with a spray gun. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that just yet, because I've got plenty of other things I can be getting on with. Maybe paint the engine bay. And that's that bit finished. Oh, I need to do that bit there. I need to put something on that. And I did notice another bit of rust here. Just there. So I need to do something with that. And I need to give it a good clean as well, because it's very, very dusty. So I might get the hoover out. Yeah, that needs to clean. But yeah, it's always interesting coming back the next day and having a look and seeing how it's turned out. It's Saturday tomorrow, so I'm skiving off work again today. I've worked this morning, but it's the afternoon now, so I thought I'd get a bit done. And with this being done now, I'll check with the on the tin and see how long it takes to cure before I can start putting the fiberglass on it. This has got a slight bit of a bow on it, but so's the other side, and you just don't notice when that's all going to be built up with fiberglass, so it will be feathered into nothing, and this will just mean this comes out a little bit further. So that's what I did on the other car as well. So, another job done.